Hey everybody, J. Scott Helms here, and today we're going to talk a little bit about taking your Archon Fitness Cable Pulley and setting it up as a low pulley. And we're going to try to not get distracted by the glare coming off the top of my head. What do you want? It's the quarantine edition. Okay, so as I said, we're going to talk today about setting up the Archon Fitness Cable Pulley as a low pulley. As people have been stuck at home, I guess, I have gotten several variations of the same question over the last few days, and I thought it'd be a good time just to do a video and show you how I do it. So the question I keep getting, or at least variations of it, I keep touching my face, man. It goes something like this. Which package should I buy if I want to do the low pulley? Do you ever set yours up as a low pulley? How do you set it up as a low pulley? What kind of rack are you setting it up on to use it as a low pulley? So I thought I would just kind of roll all those up and address it in one quick video. This one will be a little shorter than usual, but bear with me. The lighting isn't as good back here, but being at home this week, my office is actually being used, as an office. So we moved back here to the gym to shoot this. So what I'll do is I'll talk a little bit about it, and then I'll move the camera so you can actually see what I got going on back here. So first thing, you'll see this, and keep in mind that if your rack or half rack is different than mine, your setup will be slightly different. It'll be very similar, maybe a little adjustment, but it should be real close to the same. And as I'm showing you this, I will go through a couple of the things that will possibly be different. What I'm going to show you, if you've watched, I should back up for a second. If you've seen any of the other videos I've made on this pulley system, I will link to them down below. I also have a playlist that has nothing but the pulley videos in them, and I will include this video in that list just to make them easy for you to find. I will also put the links down below to the pulley system, so again, you can look at them, read the reviews, see what other people are doing with them. So my system is the two pulley system that I ordered from Amazon, and I've addressed some of this in the other videos a little more, so I won't spend a bunch of time on it today. So everything you'll see today are the two cables and the two pulleys that came with the system I bought. So if you've seen a couple of my other videos, you know that I have made some cables for myself, but for the purposes of this video, I'm going to use the 70-inch cables that came with the kits. Mine is a half rack. It's the Fitness Gear HR600. So the main difference between that and the full-size rack, many of you probably know, but if you're shopping for a rack, the footprint on mine is a little bit smaller. I have one set of high uprights and one set of short uprights, where a full-size rack will have two sets of high uprights. They'll be somewhere between 80 and 85 inches tall. So I have one set that way, one set that's shorter. That's why I say your setup will slightly vary from mine if you have a different rack. And I'll go through a little bit of that as I show it to you. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to just kind of back up and walk you through my setup here, and then I will readjust the camera so you can get a closer look at it. I'm working with a different lens today because I'm in a different room, so it's going to look a little different than normal, but we'll adjust for that. Okay, so let's take a look at it, and I will start from the ground up and show you how I set it up. All right? Okay, so the first thing you might notice, if you're familiar with this rack, if not, I'll explain why I did this. I have my spotter arms and my pull-up bar off of the rack and on the floor over here, just to kind of unclutter what we're going to see here today. They're normally not in the way of doing this, but I wanted to take them off just to get the distraction out of there. All right, so as I said, we'll start at the bottom, and then I will move the camera and give you a better shot of what's going on here. But what I got going on here is right here at the bottom, we have our weight plate and our weight holder, and that's attached to our first 70-inch cable. It runs up through pulley number 1, which is your high pulley. It comes on through to here, where it connects to your second 70-inch cable, and that's connected with the carabiner that comes with this setup. So this cable will run down, if I can back up enough for you to see it, That cable runs down through pulley number 2, which is your low pulley, and comes on out. And I have just a handle on here today for what you would use for bicep curls, or it's just a short handle. So, as I said, everything you see here, except that handle and the plate, comes in the kit. With that kit, you get 2 of everything: 2 cables, 2 pulleys, 4 carabiners, the 2 lanyards that they're hooked up with, and you'll get 2 of the plate holders. So, one of the things you might, if you can see it well enough from there, you'll see that I have my high pulley over here on this side of my frame, and I have my low pulley down here opposite corner of the frame. The reason for that, and again, this might be a slight difference with your setup, because I have one set of high uprights and one set of short uprights, I have to use this side and then the bottom on this side to take some of the slack out of my cables. You'll see in the other videos, and again, I'm not going to go over this too much today, these cables are 70 inches long, and they're a little bit too long for just your normal use. So by spacing this apart, I'm able to use up a good bit of that extra cable. And the reason you want to use that extra cable up is because if you've ever used a cable machine before of any sort, that exercise only starts once you have the slack out of your cables. So if I moved these to where they're in the center, I'm going to have quite a bit of excess cable out the front. And by the time you get ready to do that bicep curl, you're half or 3/4 of the way through that exercise before you have the slack out of it. So you're cheating yourself out of the range of motion for that exercise. By spacing these pulleys apart, one up top, one down low, opposite sides, I'm taking all that slack out in the middle instead of down here where the handle is. Okay? So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go back and move the camera again and give you a better look up close of how this is set up. All right. Okay, so again, we're going to start at the bottom and walk our way around the system here so you can see what we got. Again, that's your plate on your plate holder connected to the first cable with the carabiner that comes with the kit. So that first 70-inch cable runs up to your high pulley, which is connected to the frame with the lanyard that comes with the kit. That first cable continues down to here, where again it connects with one of the carabiners from the kit to the second 70-inch cable. Runs down to the frame for pulley number 2, which is your low pulley. Passes right through out to whatever attachment you want to hook up to it. So as I said, I just have a short bar on here for bicep curls. All right, so in reverse order, low pulley, 2 cables connected together, up to your high pulley, and then actually down to your weight plates. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is I've adjusted the camera off to the side a little bit, and I'm going to do a few reps with that little bar so you can see how the whole system works together. I've said this in the other videos, and please watch those. They're a little bit more, there's more information on how to loop the lanyards around the frame, how to set things up. This was just one to show you how it's possible to use it as a low pulley. And again, I'll link to those below, and I will put this one in the playlist where the other 2 are. So just click playlist, you'll see one for the pulleys. So while I'm going to do a few reps where you can watch the whole system. But I've said this before, they're really well made. The pulleys, they're very quiet and very smooth. So about the only thing you'll really hear out of these is my plate hitting the floor, and my handle has a center point that rotates. You'll probably hear it squeaking. But as far as the pulleys go, they're great. I can't say enough about them. So let me jump over here and do a few and let you watch how the system works. All right? All right, so about right here, all the slack is out of the system. So you've got your full range of motion. And you can step back or forward closer to the pulleys to get the bar a little closer to the floor if your height is different than mine. I'm not very tall. So there you go. That's pretty much it as far as setting it up as a low pulley. If you have any more questions, post them in the comments below. I will certainly answer them. I love engaging with people. This one's a little shorter, at least I hope it is after I edit it. So if you have any other questions, I'm here for the next few weeks. So post them and I will try to show them. Again, a lot of versatility in these pulleys. The lanyards that hook them up are about 12 or 14 inches long. So they do allow for a lot of creativity in your setup. Okay, one more favor if you would, please. If you got something out of this video, give me a like. Please subscribe. It really helps the channel, and I really appreciate it. And any comments you have about anything, post them in the comment section below, and I will get right back to you. Wash your hands, socially distance, and I will talk to you in a couple of days. Have a good one.